We're started.
Oh, shit. Okay. Hey, guys.
What's up? So it's Josh and Courtney, JC Cycle. We just making a little quick video kind of talking about our last year and what we've done, kind of the places we've gone, projects we've worked on. We had a lot of questions like, well, what are we doing now? You know, it's wintertime, it's cold. We're just hanging out, just working like everybody else, thinking of bikes and things for the future. It's kind of hard because when it's cold, you're not really normally thinking about bikes. I don't think normal people do, but I do. We do.
Yeah.
So, we're still kind of doing our thing. We just wanted to talk a little bit about the things that we've done and places we've gone this weekend or this year in 2022, and maybe a little of what we're looking forward to in 2023. We started off last year, January. We did Parts and Labor, which is a Built-Well Parts and Labor Expo in Del Mar, California, which is amazing. Super cool show, all the cool people. It was a really good time.
We were able to take the FXR chopper, Loch Ness, out to that.
Yeah, so that was a really cool experience. And then also in January, that's when I picked up what is now the Wing Sport, but it was an 81 Gold Wing.
The donor bike?
Yeah, so we picked that up in January. And I think like February or March, we dropped that off with Brian, and he began working on doing the framework and a lot of the custom things that needed to be done. Also in March, I was able to go to Daytona with the homies. We did a road trip, Sprinter vanned it, 3 dudes, 2 bikes, and gotta be 6,000 miles at least.
It was a lot.
A lot of friggin' miles. It was rad.
Stop over in Texas.
Yeah,
did the Fast Life Garage podcast.
We did the podcast, hung out for a day or so. That was really cool. So yeah, Daytona is awesome. I don't know that I would like to do it again in a road trip fashion because it takes so long.
Yeah.
Like the majority of your trip, if you could take a week off work or 2 weeks, whatever it is, the majority of it's just driving, which, that's part of the adventure, but I definitely think maybe flying out and riding around is the way to go. I don't know that.
Very bougie, babe.
Yeah, I'm old now, Yeah, so that's what we did in March, and then kind of April, May, we were just doing regular stuff, working on the Wing Sport, getting things together for that. And then in June, we had Born Free California in Southern California. We took your FXR and my chopper and hung out, which that's always a killer time.
Always a good time.
You get to see all the people, really cool. And we're pretty lucky that it's 400 or 500 miles away, so that's kind of a weekend trip. So that was in June. Then in July, favorite.
That's when it started to hit the fan, though. That's when it got real busy for us.
Yeah, it was always something.
Yeah.
And trying to still put this Wing Sport.
At that point in July, I had been able to go full-time with JC Cycle, so it was awesome because it was the first time, I missed Daytona, I missed Parts and Labor in January. I was kind of tired of missing things, so I think in July is when it got exciting for me.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, going to some of the things and seeing the people. In July, the FXR Jam, we're local, so it's rad. We can just ride up the hill maybe an hour or 2 away, see all the homies, kick it for a few days.
It was a real adventure getting there. We rode up with a group of people, and everybody seemed to have a breakdown. Everybody seemed to have something. The van broke down. There was drama around it. But I think that made the time that we were there even better because we all kind of let go of some of the stress and realized that we're all a family and riding these bikes and we help each other get them fixed. And
it's always an adventure, man. Whether you live close or you live far, you're probably going to have some issues because it's an FXR.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so July was cool. We kicked it. It was super hot outside. I remember all that.
That's when the Wing Sport chaos really started. That's when we got the frame back from Brian. Actually, 4th of July, maybe July 3rd, we got the frame back from Brian.
Yeah, and that was because the beginning of August, we needed to be in South Dakota with the Wing Sport done.
So leading into the FXR Jam, we were working 15, 16-hour days on the Wing Sport, so it felt weird to leave, to go to the Jam, but... yeah, we were really in it thick in July.
So then it rolled into August. We got back from the FXR Jam and immediately started working on the Wing Sport, getting that done. And the beginning of August, we left to Sturgis, which was another fatty road trip. We took 3 bikes.
Yeah.
Took the Wang Sport.
Took 2 weeks. That's like the longest. We shut down our eBay store. We just hit the road with a friend of ours, and that was a really, really cool trip. We did take the van because we had, like you said, 3 bikes. So we took the Wang Sport, the Chopper, and then we took my little Royal Enfield bikes just so I had something to zip around on while we were there. But we had never done Sturgis before, so
it was cool.
It was pretty cool.
You get to see all the big wigs, big shots, people that are from the rest of the country that you don't see at, the West Coast Jam or some of the events because they're from the other side of the country. So it's super cool.
We were building the Wang Sport for the Wango Tango show, which was that first weekend-ish of Sturgis.
Yeah.
So we kicked it off with the Wango Tango. If you guys don't know what the Wango Tango is, look it up. I think they're trying to make some plans to do it in a different way, a bigger way, a different way. I don't know, moving forward. But the guys that put that on are really cool. And they are trying to do weird shit, which we like.
Yeah, with gold wings.
Right.
I'm a huge fan. Gold wings are cheap. Go get you one.
Yeah.
Then you got a bike that always turns on and runs.
No joke.
Yeah, it's amazing. Don't be lame. So in August we did Wango Tango show. We did Sturgis. We also came back right after that to the Virginia City Roundup, which is cool. Another one super close to us.
It's like it was a FXR chopper.
Yeah.
Or FXR show, chopper show, and a rodeo all together, all in Virginia City, in Nevada. If you guys haven't been there, it's a pretty cool spot.
Badass little town, yeah.
This year we camped, so that was cool. We took our trailer up and camped.
Yeah.
So that was a new way to do it for us, but that was a lot of fun. So thankfully we have the van, so we were able to put. I don't even remember what bikes we took. Oh, did we just take the Wing Sport? I think we just took the Wing Sport this year.
Because we had just got back from Sturgis, super whooped on all of it.
Yeah. So we took the Wing Sport up in the back of the van and pulled the trailer up.
Yeah.
Had a good time.
Yeah. Shout out FXR Bazaar. So after Virginia City Roundup, we chilled out for a few months.
No, just 1 month. We took September off.
Oh, 1 month. And then on October, I hit the road again. Born Free, Texas. So I had purchased a bike from a friend of mine. Shout out Robert Cheek in Texas. He had come across this really rad old FXR, and he called me and said, hey, you want to buy this thing? And of course I do. But then I was looking at like how much it costs to get it shipped and whatever. So I kind of used Born Free Texas as an excuse to go pick up this bike that I bought.
He finally admits it was an excuse.
So I hit the road to Born Free Texas. Got to hang out again with my buddy, Mr. FXR Mike. So we kicked it for a while. Did another Fast Life Garage podcast, which is always cool. It's a good time. I love those dudes.
I'm starting to feel a little weird. Every time you do the podcast, I'm not with you. I'm never on that trip. I don't know. Jace, we got to talk. That's weird.
If you got things to do, you got things to do. I don't know. So, yeah, Born Free Texas was bitching. It was the first one. So some people didn't go because it was far, and I get that. But it's definitely worth going. The place is beautiful. The weather was friggin' awesome. And when they posted it, I saw that it was in October, so I kind of felt like if you're going to Texas, that's probably like the best time to go because it's not mega hot or cold. Turned out the weather was amazing. The people were cool. It was just a good time. We camped, which that's another thing about Born Free Texas is they have camping there on site. The property is humongous. Got to hang out, went on a little tour with Danger Dan. Thanks, Dan. It was just a great time. Unfortunately, about 200 miles on the way back, or 100 and something miles on my way back home, I whacked a deer doing like 70 in the Sprinter van, and apparently they're made out of plastic, so the whole front end blew apart. So we needed all the things, but I was able to band-aid it back together, at O'Reilly's, and made it back home and have since fixed the van. So
that was a long 4 days, though.
Yeah.
Making sure he's going to get home, seeing if he needed parts on the road.
Didn't know if that was going to happen.
He replaced radiator in an O'Reilly parking lot.
Yeah, it was wild.
It's pretty handy.
Yeah, so we got back, chilled out for a little bit longer, and we haven't really gone to anything since.
It's winter.
Just, working on stuff, cleaning stuff up. But we are super stoked and looking forward to Parts and Labor again, except for this year, we're taking the Wang Sport, which it's exciting. I just like people to see the weird things in person because you can see all the pictures online and videos or whatever, but bikes just hit different in person, dude. Some of them you can tell from the internet they're super sick. Some of them I feel like they just, until you're standing in front of it, you just don't get the feel for the bike.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that I see on the internet. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm not gonna pass judgment until I see it in person. Then I can get a full feel for it.
I think it took some experience for you to do that, though. I've seen you judge some bikes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I feel like in the last couple of years, then you've seen some in person that kind of blew you away.
Right.
And so you've definitely taken a step back on making the internet judgment.
Yeah.
A lot of people make an internet judgment on the stuff we build, I think, or the stuff Josh builds. Like, Loch Ness is weird. Wingsport is weird. Everybody kind of looks at it like, whew, what's happening there? And then they see it in person, and you do get to see the small details and the thought that went into building something like that. So it gives us a different perspective on other people's stuff, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Then you start to appreciate what it took to get to where it was. Whether it's like your style or something you're into,
That's a good point.
It's different. You know, you still can look at it and be like, holy crap.
Right.
Yeah, it's so wild that's kind of what I like, is to kind of sit back and watch guys tell their friends when they're seeing the bike and they're like, oh, dude, it's a dyno with the Goldwing motor. Okay, so you're 100% the opposite of that, but you're picking up what I'm putting down here.
Kind of got there.
Yeah, it is a weird ass bike, and that's the best part is people like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what's going on there.
I think that's your favorite reaction to anything you build. You don't want somebody to hate it or be stoked on it. You're stoked when they're confused by it.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Try to open some minds.
Yeah.
Create some emotion, good or bad.
So true.
Yeah. So we got parts and labor coming up. This next month, not even a month away. So that's exciting. We're still doing some little things to the wing sport, getting it finally dialed in to where it's 100%. We'll get her back polished and running and looking good. Take her down there to the show, and then I think at that point it's going to be for sale.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, we've been selling off bikes and cars and things we've accumulated. It's just, we're not spending time riding the stuff. So like,
I think that should be a big plan for us in 2023 is to ride what we do have.
Yeah.
We spent so much of 2021 and 2022 working on things and building bikes and all the things, and everybody keeps asking what's next, right? What are you going to build next?
Right.
And trust me, you guys, his brain is ticking. He's got some things that he wants to do, but I think we have to be in a little bit different position time-wise. Like, we don't have a lot of time. We do run a full-time business on the side of all of this. And, you know, money-wise, because I think the next projects are going to be even more expensive. So I think taking 2023 off from building, I'm putting it on the record, we're going to take 2023 off from building?
No.
No.
Not the whole year.
Oh, man.
But like not so serious either.
Right.
Like maybe take a little bit more time, because the things that I would like to do, I mean, we still have that Sportster chopper.
We do. We have a Sportster chopper that we want to put together, but that's not anything crazy.
And undoubtedly we'll pick up another Goldwing throughout this time. So there'll be things going on. But I got some things in mind. It's just going to cost quite a bit more money, and probably going to have to take a little bit more time because, you know, it's just different.
Yeah.
Is what we'll say. Of course.
We're going to pace ourselves then? We're going to pace ourselves in 2023?
Right.
Okay.
Well, we don't have, like, it's got to go to this event or this show
Right.
or
We're not
whatever.
committed to anything.
When it's done, it's done.
Okay.
And that's something I've also learned in looking at these guys' bikes at shows throughout the friggin' country this year. It's like, you could see bikes like mine where they're kind of done towards a time frame. And maybe people don't notice, but I notice because I've touched every freaking little part of it.
Right.
And there's, just like anybody that builds a bike, there's details that you know that drive you nuts. Yeah. And I think if you were somebody that was able to take that time and do the details and just let it take however long that takes.
Right.
I don't have patience, so that's the problem. So I'm working on patience.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're somebody like Mark, yeah.
I watched in a movie the other day that rather than a New Year's resolution, you pick a word for the next year. Like, that's your word that you're going to focus on. Would you say patience is your word? No.
Fishing.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that happening right now, too. Fishing is the word for 2023. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. But if I were more like, there's a lot of dudes that I like really appreciate the time and skill and their attention to detail, like Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Like Corey, A-Bear. You know, you see those bikes in person and you can tell that they went through every friggin' step and everything is dialed. I don't find any issue or anything. There may be. Everybody's got their own, like if you ask those guys independently, they're like, oh, there's this, there's that, and I would have done that different. But when you see their bikes and their projects up close, they're the dudes that have the patience. And everything is just right. And that's how I want, not everything moving forward, because not all of them are going to be like ridiculously built motorcycles, but I got one cooking that I'm thinking about. So yeah, we got to get some money together and some time and start figuring it out. It may not be done this year. It may. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's going on. So we just wanted to make a video and say, hey, here's the 2022. We made it another year. We did some cool stuff. Met tons of cool people. Saw badass bikes all over everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Did a lot of road tripping. That's rough.
Maybe less road trips. I think we're going to do less
more
road
flights,
trips in
less road
2023.
trips. Yeah,
Maybe
I'm into that.
not quite so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm down for that. Just a year. Just a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into flying now that I've driven and ridden for days and days on end.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that's basically what we're doing here. We appreciate you watching, and we will get back into making more videos and spending more time going through things and explaining what we're doing or whatever throughout the rest of this year. But during this cold season, we're just kind of chilling and working.
So if there's any videos you want us working on in this cold season, drop it below. I know a lot of people found the push rod video we did super helpful. We'd like to do more small videos like that, but what are you guys looking for? I'm not an expert on anything.
Neither am I.
Josh is more of an expert than me, and if it's something he feels like he can maybe throw in a...
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could talk about it.
Yeah. So.
Or at least I've done research to see what other people said to do. I don't know. I don't know all of it, and that's why I don't just make random tutorials on how to do stuff. I don't know. I gotta watch other people's tutorials.
Right.
But maybe I can cliff notes it for you, or you know what I mean?
What is that book that you read when you're...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways. We don't do school, apparently. Yeah. So thanks, guys, for hanging out.
Thank you.
Chilling with us, listening to what we're doing. Hopefully you have a amazing holiday and Happy New Year's and Merry Christmas to all you guys. From JC Cycle, we really appreciate it. And we will have more videos for you this next year. Woo!